It's a blessing to be with you on this Wednesday, and today I'd like to go to Luke chapter 7. And as you're looking at that, if you have a chance to do that, I do want to mention that in just a few days, the Victory Conference for this year will start, and it's going to be a wonderful time, the Vibrant Church Conference. Would you pray for us if you're not able to be here? And maybe if you're not in town but could still make it, we would love to have you. But you can also see the messages and to be able to be involved in what I believe is a very important emphasis. Well, going to Luke chapter 7, we find a major event in the life of the Lord as he's dealing with the different needs that he found there in Israel. And of course, the greatest need of all would be someone who has died. And that's exactly what we find in verse 11. And it came to pass the day after that he went into a city called Nain, and many of his disciples went with him, and much people. Now when he came nigh to the gate of the city, behold, there was a dead man carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow, and much people of the city was with her. This was a tragic situation, because first of all, this was a son, and so he obviously was younger, and he had died. And his mother was a widow, which meant she was in a very vulnerable situation. And to lose her son was a disaster. And so the whole city was with her. And this was a very, very hard set of circumstances. But I love this, verse 13. And when the Lord saw her, he had compassion on her and said unto her, Weep not. Now, this is a wonderful example of how we should respond. You know, sometimes we just get hit with hard things. And we need to remember that Jesus is moved with our infirmities. We know that from Hebrews chapter 4. He is touched with the feelings of our infirmities. He had compassion over and over on the needs of the people then, and we know that he has them has compassion on us. And I love he says, weep not. Now, how can you tell a widow who has just lost her son that she isn't to weep? Well, it's because he was going to do something. And we read in verse 14, and he came and touched the bier, and they that bare him stood still. And he said, Young man, I say unto thee, arise. And he that was dead sat up and began to speak, and he delivered him to his mother. A resurrection. But my point is this, it's a great miracle, of course, and God can do anything. But he was able to say, weep not, because he knew that he was going to raise this young man from his dead condition, and that very shortly he would handle the situation. Well, we as human beings, as believers, when hard things happen, we're going to cry. We're going to have difficult emotions. But we need to understand that Jesus has compassion on us. And that as a believer, God will use all things to work together for good if we truly are looking to him and love him. And it'll be a great victory in the future as to what God will do with this hard circumstance. We can't help but weep. But we don't need to be in despair. And we can stop weeping and instead go to the Lord in prayer and realize that God will take all of this, grow us, and do some wonderful things through these hard circumstances. And so as you are going through a difficult period of time, let Jesus come and touch your life. Listen to him as he says, weep not, for I've got a great plan for you.